Acting Permanent Secretary and Director of Finance Esther Rigobert signed a 5-year contract with British firm Intend Limited for the provision of an electronic government procurement application for the government of St. Lucia. The award of this contract marks the culmination of a sustained program of cooperation in the area of public procurement reform between the government of St. Lucia, the World Bank, and the Department of International Development (DFID) of the United Kingdom. But what exactly is public procurement? Anthony Jean, Assistant Director of Public Procurement, explains.
Procurement involves a more strategic aspect of looking at the entire cycle of an acquisition of a good, its usage, and replacement if needs be. In defining the use of that product, good, service, is developing the right specifications to meet your desired outcome.
With more than 500 institutions in over 100 countries around the world, Intend Limited is one of the world's leading providers of software as a solution, electronic government procurement application service providers. The service procured by St. Lucia will run the government's e-procurement application in the cloud, thus bringing the added advantage of climate resilience, as the hardware and software used on this platform will be beyond the reach of natural disasters such as hurricanes and floods.
One of the key deliverables of that process required the automation of the procurement aspect, receiving tenders, coordinating with vendors and that sort of thing. We went the route of acquiring a software as a service, which is relatively new in this part of the world. And e-procurement is a big thing in all modern jurisdictions, but normally what you see happening is persons developing their own applications. Recently, as last year, I think the government of Jamaica spent almost $2 million US in developing an e-procurement platform. We went a more fastly becoming popular route of doing a software as a service, whereas you simply subscribe to a service provider and you get all the functionality that you require. It is tailored to have a look and feel of your local environment.
Government is the single largest buyer of goods, services and works, making public procurement instrumental in poverty alleviation, promotion of good governance, enabling regional economic integration and international trade, including the implementation of national economic, social and environmental policies. However, before the electronic procurement system can be rolled out, the Director of Finance Esther Rigobert highlighted that it must be accompanied by reform of St. Lucia's procurement legislation and regulations.
There's the legislative review and legislative framework that we are going to enhance. And once that law is enacted, it would allow and stipulate what would be good governance for public procurement. So it's no longer going to be something that happens within the confines of government. It will be for the public to see, to read, and to familiarize themselves with the requirements, the guidelines, and procedures that will be applied to public procurement. The second aspect of the reform would actually be the system, the platform through which persons would make submissions, whether it be bids or requests, and it will be a very, very transparent process and very efficient as well, so that the data emanating from that system would allow for online real-time analysis of the data.
She added that the new legislation and procurement guidelines will soon be available to the public via the government web portal. But for the system to be fully effective, persons must educate themselves on the new guidelines.
So it's not just for us to have new systems and it cannot be used efficiently or effectively. Persons must avail themselves of the information, familiarize themselves with the requirements, make the necessary inquiries, and make sure they understand how it's to be used and make good use of it.
Testing of the localized e-procurement system is expected for August this year, with the pilot phase expected to go live by the end of September 2020. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.